Um, my personal experience with community college is that I attended community college taking classes concurrently while I was at a 4-year when I was a recent high school graduate. But I also worked at Southwestern College for about 2 years and had that counselor experience. So thanks you guys for joining us. We're going to give you a lot of information, like a lot, but you'll have access to this PowerPoint, so you can always go back to it. And we are always here if you have any questions.
Thank you. So my name is Mr. Tran. I'm one of the counselors here at Sweetwater High School. My experience with community college, graduating from Montgomery High School, I did get accepted into a 4 university, but I chose to attend community college first. I actually went to a few community college before, transferring back to San Jose State or transferring to San Jose State, earning my bachelor's degree. So I went, Mesa College. I went to City College. I went to Riverside Community College, and I did a little bit at Southwestern College before I eventually transferred over to San Jose State University, where I ended up finishing and earning my bachelor's degree. So with that being said, this workshop here is going to be focusing on the community colleges and vocational school. So, the couple links that you see here on this first page, gives you information about community colleges, and some reasons why people attend community college and ways that you can search for community college. So as far as community college is, again, the first one there is to increase your earning power. Basically, that means that, the higher educational level you have, the more income potential that you are able to obtain through your lifespan, right? It can be, a community college degree, or it can be a 4-year university degree. Again, having higher education means income potential for the lifetime of your career. Number 2 down there gives you, again, you do spend less money going to community college than if you were going to the 4 university. So for some who are going to community college, money is an issue, is concern. So a lot of them that don't qualify for financial aid end up going to community college first. Taking the most direct route instead of taking the most direct route to the job you want. Basically, it's a faster earning your degree. And for example, the associate degree versus a 4-year bachelor's degree or 5-year bachelor's degree, to really get into, your career choices, such again, like being a chef or medical assistant or dental assistant, okay, without having to go to the vocational school. Chart your educational future. Again, not knowing what you want to do after high school, career that you want to take, or where you want to earn your bachelor's degree. Community college is a great start, to start exploring, your educational future. Experience a different educational environment. You may eventually want to get a bachelor's degree, but you don't want to go, far away, just yet, to get your bachelor's degree, or or you may not want to go to a college or university that's big, right? So you want to go to a community college first and kind of, get your feet wet, like a better word, and then transfer into the 4 university of your choice. So those are some of the options that, some of the choices that people or students, think about when they make a decision whether to go to community college first or 4 university. Again, it can be your schedule that you're trying to meet as well. So the next slide, or no, going back to the main slide there, there is also, a website that you can explore and search and compare, different community colleges. You can do a search in there. So yeah, you can click on it, and then you can do a search as far as locating, comparing colleges, throughout California. It can be a radius of a 50-mile search to 100 to 400, 500-mile search. You want to, this is a great website for you to figure out, what community college in San Diego County itself or throughout California that fits your need, based on what your major is that you want to transfer it into. So for the keyword search, you can do, let's say, for example, English major, right? If you type in English and then hit the search button, and you want to be able to have an associate degree that will transfer to the 4 university of your choice. Once you hit the search button, it gives you a list, closest to farthest colleges that that are in your area that does meet that criteria. For example, Southwestern College does meet that criteria. Uh, there's also different colleges, Palomar City College, that will meet the that particular need. So that's a good search engine for you to use when you're exploring and doing your research and comparing different community colleges throughout California. The slide number 3 is admissions requirement. The admission requirement is everybody gets accepted into the community college, right? So there are no restrictions per se. You used to have to possess a high school diploma or equivalency to such as the GED or something like that. Admission process, we usually there's again no denied circumstances. Application is usually open during the springtime of their senior year. And what we're going to do in the counseling department is, sometime in the month of February or March, we're going to open up, the counseling office in the afternoon or after school for those students who are interested in getting assistance to apply for the community college of their choice. Again, it can be a Southwestern College, or it can be a Grossmont, or it can be City College. It doesn't matter what community college that you'll be applying for. We're going to provide that service, for after school, for any seniors who are interested in needing assistance to apply for the community college. Again, the community college application itself, the website, is an online menu guided system. So just read the instruction. It'll prompt you, as you go through the application process. We do have a few local community colleges here in San Diego County. We provide some links there. One of them, again, is Southwestern College. The other one's Grossmont College, and the third one is the San Diego Community Colleges. The San Diego Community College is it encompasses like Mesa College, Miramar College, City College, and I believe one of the colleges, I forgot what it is. I believe it's Miramar Mesa City College, and then the ECC program, the ECC, the Educational Continuing Education Program, as well as part of the San Diego Community College District. Again, it's a great website. It's a again online menu guided system, and you can click on those specific links to get more information about these community colleges. Again, admissions office, apply today, and all that stuff. The next slide. Slide 5, I believe. No, I'm sorry. The slide, 5. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Vallejo to continue on.
Okay, so this slide, it talks about the different types of pathways that community colleges offer. So a community college has a variety of things for students depending on what their goals are in terms of their careers. Okay, so they do offer certificated programs. So certificates are usually for a specific career technical education. So it's kind of like just, you don't want to take any general education classes. You just want to get a certificate that allows you to start working in a specific career. Okay. There are certificates of achievement and certificates of proficiency. Certificate of proficiency are usually to prepare you to progress in a career, and the certificate of achievement allows you to start working in a career. Okay. Now, when we talk about those tiers, and you saw kind of how like the more education you get, the more your potential earning is, a certificate would kind of be equivalent to some college, because you are going to a college, you are going to a post-secondary education system to earn something that'll teach you to specialize in a career. Okay. The next step after that would be an associate's degree. So there's an AA or an AS. An AA stands for an Associate of Arts, so something major in the arts area, and an AS is an Associates of Science. Okay, an associate's degree is an academic program that you take at the undergraduate level. So anything bachelor's and under is considered undergraduate level. Okay, so that's going to give you some basic introductory classes into a specific major. And it is also going to require you to take some general education classes so that you could be a holistic learner. So kind of similar to your A through G's, where you have to take a little bit of everything. It's the same thing. But then you also take some classes that are very specific to the major that you want. Okay. And then transfer is designed for the students that want to go to the community college to eventually go to a 4-year degree to get that bachelor's degree. Okay. And so for transfer, you can go to a community college and not get an associate's. You could just work on transferring specifically. Or you can do kind of like two birds with one stone, where you get an associate's that also has all the requirements for you to transfer. And so transferring is basically doing all of the necessary classes that you would be doing at a 4-year for those first 2 years. And then that way it prepares you to be able to transfer to a university to continue to take more classes in a specific major. Okay. So really your choices here are very, very dependent on the individual and what career they are interested in going to, because depending on what job you want, you may not need a bachelor's. You may just need a certificate, for example, or maybe the job that you want requires a master's degree. Like counseling, for example, requires a master's degree. So in that case, you can't just get a certificate and work as a counselor. You would have to take the educational pathway of transferring to get a bachelor's, and then after doing graduate level work to earn your master's. Okay. Let me go to the next slide. Now, community colleges versus vocational schools, that's kind of really focused on either that certificate kind of realm. Many vocational schools and community colleges, they have the same goal of educating students in a specific subject so that they can, like, it's kind of like job training so that they can start working right away. Okay. Sometimes these are called trade schools, but they allow you to develop your skills connected to a specific career. So there's no general education requirements or anything like that. Sometimes depending on the trade, you're at the community college, you may have an application process if it's really popular, for example. They may not, it really just depends. But the goal is that as soon as you complete that certificate or that program, you would be able to start working. Okay. A really popular one is like the medical assistant or the licensed vocational nurse program. Okay. So that one, for example, you could do medical assisting at a vocational school like PIMA, or you could do it at the community college. The difference between the two is going to be the length of time, and it's also going to be the cost. Okay, so if you were to take those types of classes at a community college, depending on how popular it is, like I said, it may take longer for you to actually get into a program, okay, because it can start to be a little competitive, right? At a trade school, you can usually just get right in, but you're also going to be paying more per class. So it's going to cost a lot of money up front for you to be able to start working sooner. The community colleges they cost less money. They might take you a little longer to get into the job. But the other benefit with community colleges is that because those are classes within the community college, if you eventually wanted to continue and maybe move up to an associate's or a transfer for a bachelor's someday, they will take those credits. They typically don't take any credits that come from a trade school. All right. So pros and cons to both. Now, if you are deciding to go to a community colleges offer a ton of support services. Okay. These are just some of the support services that you will find, but they have financial aid offices. So for all of you that are planning on going to a community college, you want to make sure that you are completing your FAFSA, because that's what's going to send the information about your financial need to the college you want to go to. Okay. If you ever have any questions or something changes or you need help, they have a whole team dedicated specifically to that. Okay. There's also disability support services. This is designed for students who need accommodations for whatever reason. So, in terms of learning, so they need learning accommodations. If students that have an IEP on campus would automatically qualify, or maybe if you think you may have some sort of barrier to learning, you could go talk to disability support services. It can even be short term. So let's say you go and you break your arm, right? That's considered a temporary disability because you can't write. You could go to disability support services and they will help you out to make sure that they like assign like a note taker for you temporarily. Okay, so that's a great service. There's a transfer center that's usually in the student services building, and it has counselors who specialize in knowing the ins and outs of getting you to be able to transfer to the school of your choice. Okay. There's a career center that is also has counselors that specialize in helping you either start in a specific career or help you with that career exploration process if you're not really sure. Associated Student Organizations, ASO, is very similar to the ASB. It's kind of just designed to get you more involved on campus. So there's different clubs that you can join to kind of make your community college a whole experience versus you just going to attend class. Health and wellness for your social emotional well-being, self-care if you need someone to talk to, the Dreamer Center for students that are undocumented, and a veteran center for students that maybe go to the military first and then decide to continue on with their post-secondary education. Okay. Also at the community college, you'll usually find something called the EOPS program. So this stands for the Education Opportunity Program and Services. Okay, so this is designed to help students achieve their academic goal by giving them extra support. So it is an application, but the majority of Sweetwater students tend to qualify for EOPS just because they're first generation students. So I would really encourage you to look into this because this is going to be a huge support in terms of providing a counselor who's going to follow you and help meet with you a couple of times every semester to make sure you're always staying on track. You get priority in registering for your classes. You'll have access to tutoring. They usually give you like a book grant, so you'll have extra money for textbooks, or they have their own like textbook lending program. And they're even a support in terms of if you need like financial assistance, like an emergency loan, or you're looking for a job, they'll give you your cap and gown. So this is a really neat program, but it is something that you have to apply to. So sometimes in the application, it might be embedded while you're applying to the school, but if not, then this is definitely something you want to look into and seek out so that you can make sure that you get to be a part of that program. And in addition to that, most community colleges now have something called learning communities. So learning communities are basically a team or a group of students that'll share the same classes and get the support of the same instructors, counselor. You're all going to work together towards the goal of meeting your educational success. So it's a cohort kind of, so to speak. And so the different learning communities are focused around different experiences and backgrounds. So they are going to have different workshops and field trips and things related to that. And so the goal is to make your classes more enjoyable, productive, and social by kind of creating this internal support system that will kind of just encourage you along the way. So some examples of learning communities are the first year experience. That's, somebody that's coming from high school, it's their first year in college. Maybe they want to take classes with the same group of people. That joining the first year experience might be really helpful in that sense. Puente is, a program for Latino students that maybe want to focus on Latinos in higher education. Now, you don't have to have the same major or anything like that, but you do want to have some sort of connection to wanting to learn more about, your heritage in Puente. Same thing with Umoja, which is for the African American experience, Bayan, which is for the Asian American experience, Chel is for LGBTQ experience, and the athletic learning community is for obviously athletes that kind of want the same network experience. All right, now talking a little bit about transferring. So transferring can be very complicated at the community college level, okay, because there are different routes. But ideally, what you want to know is what major or career field you want to focus on, and what school do you want to transfer to, because transferring can be very specific to certain schools. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about something called an ADT. And an ADT is an associate, it stands for an associate degree for transfer. Okay, so this first link here talks to a little bit about what an ADT is. Okay, and so it basically is a degree with a guarantee. So it's a partnership that state schools like CSU's, San Diego State, CSU San Marcos, all of the CSUs have made with community colleges that created a transfer pathway for you to be able to earn an associate's while you're at the community college level. And therefore, by earning that associate's and taking the classes that are necessary to transfer, you'll get a guaranteed spot at that university that you created the ADT with. Okay, so there's a ton of different universities, a ton of different majors. Not every community college has the same ADTs. So sometimes it's important to know what you want to study so you know that you're going to a community college that has that. Okay. And this website actually has a neat tool here that says discover your transfer options. Because say maybe I want to go to Southwestern College, for example. They will show you the different type of transferable degree programs that they have. So let's click on like computer science, and that'll show you that they have transferable ADT agreements with these different universities. Okay. Or maybe you don't know the university you want to go to per se, or the school you want to go to per se, but you know, let me go back here. So that was Southwestern College, right? So maybe you don't care about the community college, but you know specifically a certain degree, then you can click on like the degree and it'll tell you what community colleges have that degree. Okay. Now, the other slide on here that you can use that's very helpful, or the other link, let me share this tab, is the Associate Degree for Transfer Major and Campus Search through the CSU system. Okay, so this will tell you, like, it kind of like the other one, but I think this one's a little more user-friendly, what your major of interest is. So let's say I'm interested in business. Okay, and you can search by community college, you can search by major, or you can even search by the school you want to transfer to. And it will tell you, once it's done loading, obviously, it should tell you all of the schools that have that partnership. So, oh, it's being unresponsive. Let me exit it and try again. It said, oh, snaps. Hold on. I got to go back to present. Okay, so I'm going to try to make it a little not so, making it so it doesn't have to think as much. So I'm going to put here, I'm going to look for San Diego State. And then I'm going to submit. And you see it'll tell me all of the majors that San Diego State has an ADT with. And even within majors, like you see how it has biology, but it has a ton of different biologies. That's because there are specialties within a major. So that's where I'm saying it can get very specific and very confusing, but these are great tools for you to be able to figure out, okay, I know what I want to study. So now I just need to know what I need to do to get there. Or maybe it's like, I know I want to go to a school that's close to me. So I know I want to go to Southwestern College, for example, but I need to figure out what I'm going to take there. Like, these are all tools. Okay. Before I pass it off to you, Mr. Tran, I also wanted to, let me see if I can get this to work. So if you go to one of those, this link with the ADT, Associate Degree for Transfer, and you go to colleges up here, what you can also do is if you go down, okay, I have to scroll for a while. Here's that transfer tool we talked about. And you look at the campuses near you, okay? And you go, you could put in your zip code, but it was kind of acting up a little bit earlier. So I'm just going to kind of show you by doing load more results. But let me find Grossmont. And it will show you, if I can ever get to it here, Cuyamaca, this was kind of local. It'll show you actually different things that they offer. So for example, Cuyamaca, let's say like, okay, I'm interested in accounting. They're going to have an associate's in accounting. They're going to have a certificate in accounting. And so then you can get more information about, okay, do I just need a certificate to do what I want to do? Or do I need an associate's? So that'll kind of help you figure out what you want to do in terms of deciding between certificate, associates, or transfer. So lots of stuff. All right, Mr. Tran.
Great, thank you. Yeah, the second part, that I want to talk about a little bit, in the same slide is the transferable courses, the assist.org program, or the website. Sometimes the community college counselors use this website also. I mean, it kind of works in line with the ADT program, but it also, gives you, let's say, for example, you're not ready to transfer, right? But you also want to make sure that you take courses at the community college that that is going to be transferable into the CSU or UC schools. That's where the assist.org comes into play. It gives you basically a list of courses that the community college offers that will transferable into the CSU of your choice or the UC of your choice. So an example would be the academic year. Let's go down to the 2021, and let's do Southwestern College. And you can do a search because you're attending Southwestern College, and then agreement with the San Jose State University, for example, San Jose State. And then go ahead and view the agreement. And let's pick, let's say, for example, biology, for example, right? You want to be a biology major. You want to transfer to UCSD. Click on the view agreement. And the way that you read this particular PDF form is that, once it pulls up, on the right side are the classes that is at Southwestern College, like Biology 100, which is also Principle of Biology. It is transferable to the San Jose State University and is equivalent to the Biology 100. Same thing as Bio 101, the Principle of Biology with the lab. In your counterpart for San Jose State would be the Bio 100L. Again, so that kind of gives you a little tool on how to use to determine if the classes that you're taking at a community college, whatever community college it may be, is it transferable to the Ford University of my choice. So that's another tool for you to use. Again, these are all tools and self-guided menu system that you can either do yourself, to figure out if you're able to transfer or not. But realistically, there's a lot of information on here, and it can be you can get really lost in it. So that's where they have the transfer center at the community college that where a counselor can help you walk through the process of being able to transfer. When is it I can transfer? What class do I need to transfer? But also the transfer agreement, where you have to sit down with the transfer counselor and draw up, like a better word, a contract, right? It's what sometimes they call it, and knowing what classes you need to take at the community college in order to transfer. But also they'll also explain to you the GPA requirement as well. So again, use the tool that we just give you here, but also use the resources at the community college and the transfer center. The next slide I want to talk about is an apprenticeship program. So the apprenticeship program is basically a program. Let's say, for example, a high school student that's ready to graduate doesn't want to go out into community college yet or higher education yet. They want to go join the workforce. So part of the workforce is there's an option here called the Department of Industrial Relation, but you can go into an apprenticeship program. It could be a carpenter, glazer, floor covering, sound communication, electrician, any of that stuff. And in this particular website that I use, the way that I use this website is, try to research what apprenticeship program is in my area. So if you click on becoming an apprenticeship or apprentice, and then go down, and then you want to click on find available apprenticeship program, you want to narrow down to San Diego County, and then from there, select an occupation that you want to go into. It can be, let's go ahead and pull it down and see what options we have. It's kind of slow. Okay, well, you see if we can click on search and go from there. Okay, cosmetology. So, for example, a barber, you can click on the first one. Okay, and the first one, it is a 24-month program. You do get paid $11. The minimum age is 16. Usually, in this situation, you'll see a high school graduate, right, and having a high school diploma. But more importantly, there is going to be a contact information there, and contact address, a name and phone number. So you can call them up and ask for an application to apply for an apprenticeship program, or you can call them and inquire more information about the apprenticeship program that they're offering. Again, apprenticeship program is a viable option for a lot of our graduating seniors that may not want to go into the college and university, vocational school, and they want to start working. Some of these apprenticeship programs can lead into journeymen that they can actually, make pretty good money being in the apprenticeship program. And a lot of time also, a lot of these apprenticeship individual, once they earn their journeyman certificate, they can actually go out, branch out, and earn their own, have their own business per se. So the next slide is resume. Okay, so resume is an important tool where you display your skills and qualities to your prospective employers. Okay, and also helps the employer figure out if this is a good person, a good candidate for the position that I'm looking for. There are different types of resume that you find out there, but the most common one are what's a chronological order resume, where it lists the most recent educational, the most recent job experience, or the most recent skills. Okay. It's usually a one page. The website that we reference to, the American.edu, it gives you a whole bunch of examples, I guess, like a better word, of different type of resume that you can have. Again, it's you want to keep it short and simple. For your as a 18-year-old or 17-year-old getting ready to apply for a job, and you may not have the work experience yet, you can definitely, as far as work experience, you don't have to list jobs that you get paid, but list things that you have done as far as your community service is concerned, or any extracurricular activities that you may have done. As you get older and build more work experience, I guess, like a better word, then again, that's where you can put in your personal experience, your work experience, and your resume will expand from there. Again, these are a lot of examples. You don't have to use it, but it's a good lead into the type of resume that you want to have. The next slide is talks about tips for success in higher education. Okay. Again, after high school, there is no more high school counselor that can, help guide you through your classes and all that stuff. Especially when it comes to higher education, you got to be proactive. You got to be assertive. You can't be afraid to ask questions. There's going to be a lot of questions that you need to ask, but knowing the resources of where to ask these questions. So again, being proactive and being assertive is really, really key. An important character developed. Learn to use your course catalog. Some of the stuff that we referenced just a little while ago, it can be, the website that we showed you, and learning how to use these certain websites to help navigate through what your goals may be, when it comes to higher education. Um, the third one, do not front load general education credits, meaning that, a lot of times, the first year or maybe the second year of community college, you may not know what you want to take, but don't front load so much of your general education courses, because some of the courses that you may take, again, may not be transferred into the degree or major that you want to eventually get, or the university you want to transfer into. So that's why it's so important to talk to a college counselor or a transfer counselor sooner than later when you enter a community college. Going to community college also is a great place for you to develop a transfer plan, or if you want to earn an associate of science or associate of arts degree, okay, develop a game plan early. The sooner the better. Once you figure that out, then of course, you can find the resources and navigate through to what is it that you have to take, and what college you want to go to, and then you go from there. Again, it's very important for you to make an appointment to see a counselor every semester, at least the first semester that you're at community college. Even you can make an appointment with a counselor even before you take your first class. You can make an appointment to see a counselor this coming summer before you start your class in the fall of 2022. One of the classes I sometimes recommend for kids that I work with, when they go to Southwestern College, is take the PD 100, the Professional Development 100, the Professional Development 100 course. It's also known as the Lifelong Success course. It is a 3-unit. It is transferable to the CSU and UC school, and it kind of go over what we've been talking about for the past 30 minutes or 40 minutes or so, right? Giving you the tools and resources on how to navigate through through community college in order to transfer. So again, as you see there's a lot of PD courses, but again, there are 2 units, 1 unit. The one I'm referring to is the PD 100 there. You see the bottom there where it says D, it is again CSU and UC transferable. Okay, it talks about the career options, identifying majors, interest skills. It kind of gives you an overview of the community college. It helps you to explore yourself, think about what is it your passion, your goals are, and it kind of helps guide you to the career choice of the career of your choice. So going back to slide 13, check out the potential university for transfer. Again, it's an opportunity for you to kind of step back and kind of reflect a little bit about thinking about what university, that I want to transfer into, and what major is it that I want to have a degree in. Trying to figure this out early in the game plan really going to help, guide you, on what classes that you need to take or do in order to transfer to, again, the 4-year university of your choice. Another big thing is just be patient. Be patient about going to community college. Sometimes a lot of kids ask me, how long is it going to take for me to, transfer into the 4-year university of my choice, or is it really 2 years, that you're at a community college? The answer is yes and no. It just depends on you, right? So if you're one of those students that only take 2 classes per semester, and you have to earn 60 credits, right? So it may take you, more than 2 years. It may take you 4 years. It can take you 5 or 6 years. It just depends. Or if you're the type of students take 4 or 5 classes per semester and taking 1 or 2 classes during the winter session, taking 1 or 2 classes for the summer, session, then you may be able to transfer in 2 years. But you got to be mindful also, the grade point average. You got to know yourself best. And again, based on the circumstances, for example, you're working or not, how many classes you should take per semester. You may take 3, 4, 5, or whatever it is, right? But you got to be mindful. Don't take so much that it's going to impact your grade point average, because your college GPA is a huge factor in determining, when you're going to be able to transfer, where you're going to be able to transfer to, and what degrees that you're able to earn. The college GPA, it is huge. It is a big factor. It's probably one of the driving force, of the transfer process. Be also mindful that your high school GPA does not carry on over to your college GPA. Once you enter the community college, your GPA starts all over again. Okay, so be mindful of the GPA. With that being said, that's pretty much concludes our presentation. So at this point,